Hey, this is Brian again, and I'd like to ask you to do a favor. We can't do this work without people like you, so if you can, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about Bring Back The Porch.
We have hundreds of volunteers, and they play an absolutely vital role. With everything from people scanning tickets to the people working in full costume in Pioneer Village, and helping kind of take you back in time. We really are run. Our lifeblood is the volunteers that are behind us.
This episode of Bring Back the Porch brought to you by Medicine Hat Monumental, crafting quality memorials of distinction since 1970. When I was a kid, there was two things I looked forward to every year. Christmas in December and Stampede in July. And here we are in July. Now, Christmas time, Santa Claus has a list. He checks it twice. You have come up with the Endless Summer book. This is more than just a list. This is the whole program for the Stampede. Ryan McCracken from the Medicine Hat Exhibition and Stampede joins us. It's going to be a busy month.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. And that book definitely needed to be checked more than twice.
It's got lots in
Lots in there, yeah.
Yes, and this is going to be a supplement, I think, to the Medicine Hat News.
It is, yeah. It should be out, I believe, sometime around next weekend. Yeah. So around the July 17th, somewhere around there.
Okay. Well, there's lots to talk about here as we head up to the July 22nd to the 25th, 4 days of endless summer, I think is how you're referring it. So let's start from the top. People used to always say, well, when does Stampede start? And I said, it doesn't really start. It just sort of begins. It's kind of like a train that pulls out of the station. You don't really notice it until the cars start to creak.
Yeah, and it's already started moving. So,
yeah.
I mean, we're busy planning away, and we've got some things kind of already in motion. Our store decorating contest is back for another year. Our parade entries are open, and it's really filling up. So, we're really looking forward to getting things underway.
Yeah. When you talk about the CF parade for Stampede 2025, we're happy to be broadcasting the parade on our Bring Back the Porch podcast. It'll be a live stream that morning. So I've never done a parade. I've did lots of things in almost 50 years of broadcasting. I've never done a parade.
Well, first time for everything.
Yeah, and my mantra will be shut up and let the parade speak for itself. So. But we'll be on that morning. I think the parade starts at 9. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what we're going to be doing, because we're going to be out here on the street outside of the studio here on 2nd Street. So I'm putting together a nice little look back at parades over the years.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, a nice little video. So I think people will like that. Chat Television was very good in keeping some of their old video, and now through the Esplanade archives, we're able to access that. And so I think people will get a kick out of seeing stuff that they probably remember when they were kids.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. That's the old. What's new this year at the Medicine Hat Exhibition and Stampede?
Well, we've got a lot of new stuff. We'll start with the free entertainment on our south stage there, in between our office and Pioneer Village. We're going to have a high dive act. They do a series of like comical and serious dives. So we're really looking forward to that. We think it'll be pretty thrilling. And then on our McDonald's free stage, we're going to have a band coming in called Uptown, and they're like a high-energy cover band, I believe, from Edmonton. And then on our Hampton free stage, which is just in front of our grandstand, we have a new duo, a husband and wife duo called Kickstart. So we've got a couple of new bands coming in there. And then with our Rodeo, we will have wild pony races this year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So we opened up those entries a little while ago and got absolutely flooded. So those spots filled up pretty quick, and we've got a pretty robust waiting list for teams too. So we're really looking forward to seeing that get underway. I've never actually seen it in person before, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And then we've got the 2 evening rodeos, as opposed to like typically in the past we've had that Thursday rodeo the recent years it's been at 5. You go a little bit further back, it's been in the afternoon. So having that one at 8:00, we think is gonna bring out some really good numbers. And like we always see really good results from that Friday rodeo, which is under the lights at 8 p.m. and just the energy kind of changes when the sun goes down and everything is under the lights. So we're really looking forward to bringing those in for back-to-back nights to set the stage for Saturday's 1:30 p.m. finale. And then obviously we've got Tom Cochran with Barney Bentel kicking things off on Wednesday, and then Morgan Kleiber opening for Johnny Reed on Saturday to close things out. So we've got a lot of activities. We've got a new area on our grounds called The Landing as well that we're really excited about. So it's going to be in between the Kimplex and the Drill Hall, just a few steps down from the McDonald's free stage. And it's kind of, the goal of it is to kind of bridge our trade show, which takes place in the Kimplex and the Drill Hall, and kind of create like a new area where people can kind of come and relax a bit, have a snack. We're going to have 616 Entertainment in there doing virtual reality and axe throwing. So, so we're going to have some new activities that you can do in there, and it's a really good central location. You can kind of, you need a break from the Midway, pop over there, get a drink, and then you're just a couple steps away from the rides and a couple steps away from the entertainment. So it's a really good spot, and we're really looking forward to kind of growing that in the years to come too.
The Midway, who's providing the entertainment this year?
West Coast Amusements is back again this year, and it's my understanding that there should be a couple of new rides. I'm not exactly sure of the names of the rides, but we've been talking with them, and we're expecting some new ones, and obviously the old favorites as well.
Yeah, something else that's new this year, or maybe it isn't new, but it's the first time I've remember seeing it, the Cowboy Clash Ranch Rodeo.
Yeah, so it's actually the third year that we're having our Cowboy Clash. So we came up with that 2 years ago, and it's on the Friday of Stampede at 1 p.m. It's a free grandstand event where you can come, kind of coincides with Kiddies Day. And it features, I think, typically 5 storied local ranches with like a lot of history, and they compete in all sorts of more like practical ranch-based rodeo activities than, bucking horses and that sort of stuff. So they do like trailer loading and branding, sorting, cattle sorting, all that sort of stuff. So it's a really interesting kind of learning experience on like the Western culture. Mm-hmm. You get a little bit of a different perspective than you would get at your typical rodeo, and it's kind of a celebration of the roots we have in this community.
The heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look back, that's really how Stampede Rodeos began, was ranch hands from various ranches competing against each other for bragging rights, and maybe a buckle and maybe a couple of dollars.
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah.
So returning back.
Yeah, it's really grown since then, but we definitely like kind of celebrating the roots of that.
Yeah. The all-breed horse show is always something that begins about a week before the real show.
Yeah, so we've got it July 17th to 19th this year, I believe. And yeah, same as it's been the past few years, all the same classes, and it's a really big event for us, and we encourage everybody to come out to the grandstand and check it out. We'll have the schedule for it is all online, and it's in our pony book here as well. So we get a really wide group of people from all over Western Canada that come out for that, and we're really excited to be bringing it back again this year. It's a mainstay for us, and it's a great way to kind of set the stage for everything to come. We've got the Summer Jam the following day, so yeah, the grandstand will be getting pretty busy here pretty soon.
Yeah. Who's in Summer Jam this year?
So we have Mahoney will be hosting again. We have Heart Set, Snakes in the Riot, Dueling Pianos with Tyler Cassat and Jarrett Brake, Rhinestone, Derek Hintz Trio, and I'm sure there are
a few that are
Troublemaking Troubadours. I know that's another. So yeah, we've got I think there's 7 bands that are coming. It's always a really, really fun night, and a great celebration of the local talent that we have in this community.
Is that on the Monday night?
Yeah, always that Monday night to kick off Stampede Week. Tickets are on sale now, and it's filling up pretty quick. We always get a really good turnout for that, and yeah, we encourage you, if you've never been out, it's a really fun night of just kind of just dancing in the dirt.
Yeah, just kicking up the dirt.
Yeah.
Kiddies Day, you mentioned that before. That's always a mainstay.
Yeah, so we've got Service Kiddies Day coming back again. It's free admission for kids 12 and under, between 12 and 3, and double toonie admission for everyone else during that time. And it all takes place in Co-op Pioneer Village. So we'll have bouncy castles and games and scavenger hunts and prizes and face painting and all sorts of demonstrations from local groups. And Pioneer Village will be fully staffed staffed and operational, so you can go into the different buildings and learn stuff. It's a really great day. I know I love bringing my daughter there. She loves all the activities, and it's a great time to get out to the park with the little ones and experience everything, beyond Pioneer Village as well. So, the kids really love the Spruce Meadows Prairie Dogs and obviously the Midway. So yeah, the Friday is definitely a good time to bring the kids out.
Yeah. That's the nice thing about the Stampede, is that you have new things every year, but there's also the old stalwarts, the standbys that we remember when we were children, and we get the chance to make memories again with our kids.
Yeah, and this year, or in recent years at least, it's been the dogs and the hypnotist. Those two really they pack the bleachers for every one of their performances, so we keep bringing them back because, people love to share in those moments, like you mentioned, with their kids. I know I love bringing my kid out to see the dogs, and even Pioneer Village is another really important part of everything we've got going on there, and it's really volunteer driven.
That's the key. Volunteers help turn the wheels at the Stampede.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we have hundreds of volunteers, and they play an absolutely vital role. With everything from people scanning tickets to the people working in full costume in Pioneer Village, and helping kind of take you back in time. We really, really are run. Our lifeblood is the volunteers that are behind us.
Is there still an opportunity to volunteer?
There's always an opportunity to volunteer. Yeah, you can come pop by the Stampede office, or give us a shout, or check us out online, and you can definitely get involved. We've got 30 committees, so there's so many different ways, regardless of what your skill set is or your mobility level. We've got ways for everybody to get involved.
Now it is the Medicine Hat exhibition and Stampede. So what's on exhibit this year?
Well, we've got our Better Living and visual arts shows again, and in Better Living we have a rhubarb contest that's going to kick off Stampede Week on the Wednesday.
Rhubarb contest?
That's right, yeah, and we're really looking forward to that.
Rhubarb, fighting?
Not quite. That wouldn't necessarily be Better Living, but
okay.
well, it'll be an array of all sorts of treats. So we're really looking forward to that, and we're thinking it'll be a nice way to kick things off and get some traffic there into the Better Living Expo, and our visual arts is shaping up to be another really, really big year, and it's a good celebration of everything that we've got in this community in terms of art. And there's still time to enter your pieces if it's something that you're looking at doing, whether it's visual art, painting, or photography. We've got all sorts of different categories, and then we've also got just next door in the pavilion there, we've got our Country in the City, which is one of my favorite areas on the grounds. It's really a celebration of farm to table and everything that goes in between. And there are, live demonstrations from with a farrier, sheep shearer, and those sorts of things. And then there's sort of hands-on exhibits for raising chicks, farming potatoes, all that sort of stuff. So we're really excited to be bringing that back, and we think it's a really good way for people coming into the grounds at that south gate.
The nice thing is that it gives young people a chance to understand where a lot of their actual groceries come from, their food.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't just come from the grocery store. No. There's a lot of work that goes in between. There's a lot of steps, and so yeah, it's definitely a good way for kids to kind of get exposed to that. And I mean, we are first and foremost an agricultural fair. That's what we started as. So it's really important to us to keep that aspect of the fair alive.
Yeah. Is there still a petting zoo?
There is, yeah. White Barn Family Farm is coming back, and there will be some new animals there. So, yeah, that's always a hit. We really like working with White Barn. They've been great these past couple of years that we've had them, and so that'll be in Pioneer Village, same place as it's been in previous years, and I'm sure it'll be packed on Kiddies Day on Friday there.
When we talk about the rides in the Stampede, do we have wristbands still?
Yep, there's still Stampede wristbands, and you can still get them early at Co-op. Save $10 on that. So we encourage everybody to do that and really make the most of it. I know that it's something we do for my kid every year, because it's nice to not have to worry about the tickets when you're there. Yeah.
When the temperatures start popping into the 30s, people sometimes need a place to get out of the sun.
Yes.
And safety is always an issue.
Absolutely. And so we do have a lot of indoor areas on our grounds. Not all of them are air conditioned, but for the adults, we have our Taco Bell Horseshoe Saloon inside the grandstand, which is an air conditioned bar that is open 12:30 to 9 every day. And then we've got obviously our trade shows in the Kimplex and the Drill Hall. We've got the exhibits in the Cypress Center. There's shade all over the place. There's misting tents, and we encourage you to definitely bring water to the grounds because it can get pretty hot.
Yeah. Do you utilize Higdon Hall?
Not for Stampede.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
That always is it used to be the casino for a long time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we have the beer gardens behind Higdon Hall, but
okay. All right. So there's still something happening around there too. All right. The parade. When is the deadline for entries?
Ooh, I don't know that off the top of my head. Okay. Yeah, but it's all online. You can find that out online and on our Facebook page. But we encourage everybody to kind of get involved on that one. I mean, obviously you guys are covering it, and we're expecting a really fun year for that. Yeah,
and the route this year is same as last year, I believe.
It's a little bit different. It's in our pony book. We've shared it on Facebook. But yeah, the thing with the parade route that we kind of encounter every year, it's construction season in Medicine Hat, so that definitely plays a role, and we've got to get everything done through the city. So we don't necessarily draft the route. We're kind of given it, but we try and make the most of it and try and find areas where people can kind of maximize their seating space.
Okay. Are there fireworks this year?
There are. We're doing fireworks just on Friday and Saturday this year.
Okay, yeah. And that'll be after the end of the rodeo and the night show on those two respective
That's right, days. Yeah. So as soon as those are done, they'll shift over into the field over there and start working away on that. So typically it'll be a little bit later, a little bit after those shows end, and as long as it's dark out, we'll go ahead with them.
Okay. The Stampede Queen contest, we haven't talked about that yet.
That's right, yeah. So we are kicking that off in just a couple of days here with our horsemanship contest on the 9th at the grandstand. And then the 10th and 11th, we've got Speech Night and the Fashion Show, which are taking place in Higdon Hall. We recently moved that. It was going to take place in the Cypress Center, and so now both of those events will be in Higdon Hall. And we've got 2 contestants this year competing for the title of Queen, and that's again kind of going back to that heritage side of it. It's something that's been a long-standing tradition, and it's really important for us to keep that alive. And it's nice to have an ambassador in the community and somebody who can kind of speak to that younger generation and kind of inspire that love for Western culture.
Yeah. Lori Charlin was always the lady that looked after that, and she did a bang-up job for years and years and years. And Gary Houston was the photographer. And he used to document every little thing that happened. So
yeah, well, we've got Lori Sidlecki now handling that with Lisa Kader, and they do a bang-up job. And Randy, our main volunteer photographer, he's fantastic as well. So we've got a really great team, volunteer photographers as well. Like we spoke about, volunteers are a big part of it, and yeah, you'd be amazed just at the number of jobs we have for volunteers.
July 22nd to the 25th, the exhibition in Stampede. I'm not sure how many years this has been. I know that they were sporadic for some years through war years and whatnot, but it's been a tradition since 1887.
Yeah, 100 years older than me, so that's always it's an easy rule of thumb for me.
Anything else you want to touch on, Ryan?
No. Well, I mean, in August we're going to be right back at it with Cars and Guitars and our Indian Relay coming back. So this year for Cars and Guitars, we have a tribute to Jimmy Buffett. We're really looking forward to, and the Half Cats are going to be opening for that show, and then the following weekend. So that's on August 8th, and then the following weekend on the 15th and 16th, we've got Indian Relays coming back, and that's got to be the fastest growing sport in Canada right now, and we're really thrilled to be bringing it back. We saw a really impressive increase in attendance for our second year. It's a sport that relies on word of mouth, and we're really seeing those results. So if you haven't seen it, definitely come out, come early, check out the Teepee Village and our Indigenous Artisans Market, and get prepared for a really thrilling experience and a learning experience.
So it really is an endless summer.
It really is. Yeah, it does not stop until it's over.
All right. Ryan McCracken, thanks for the visit.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.